FarmStew's S stands for sanitation, and today we're going to be learning about clean hands, clean body, and clean homes. The right use of water can do more good than medicine to prevent and treat disease. Water helps the body fight off infections both inside and out. Cleanliness decreases and protects against dangerous microbe invasions. What's the starting point? Hand washing. Hand washing is one of the most important ways to prevent the spreading of disease. There are certain times when it's especially important to wash your hands. At FarmStew, we call them the befores and afters. Always wash before preparing food for anyone and before eating. Also, wash after going to the latrine or relieving yourself or cleaning a baby that did the same, and after working in the garden or touching animals. With clean water, rinse your hands, lather with soap, and rub the palms together vigorously. Then scrub the top of each hand and between the fingers like this. You want to clean dirt also away from the fingernails. Rinse with pure water and air dry. Follow this method even if there is no soap or if the water is limited. You can use ash instead of soap. Over 3,000 years ago, the Bible included the specific instructions to wash under running water to prevent the spread of disease. That's in Leviticus chapter 15, verse 13. How can you wash with running water in a rural area where you don't have it? Use a tippy tap. The tippy tap is a hands-free way to wash your hands that is especially appropriate for rural areas where there's no running water. It uses only 40 milliliters of water to wash hands compared to 500 milliliters using a mug. That's important when water is far away. It's normally made from sticks pounded into the ground and with a jug that is suspended with string. It's operated by a foot lever that you place your foot on. It's really just a stick tied to a string. But this simple method of not touching the container reduces the chance for bacterial transmission as the user is only touching the soap or the wood ash, which is a free, readily available alternative to soap. The United Nations says that washing hands is the most cost-effective intervention for the worldwide control of disease. By teaching this ancient biblical wisdom, FarmStew saves lives. Bathing feels good. It also removes sweat and microbes, preventing skin infections, itching, rashes, and body odor. Using an insecticide soap helps to reduce body lice. Anti-lice shampoos can also be used, but the eggs of the head and crab lice must be removed from the hair with louse combs. Children should be bathed and dressed in clean clothes daily. They should be taught to wash their hands before eating and before going to bed, and to keep their hands out of their mouths. Their fingernails should be kept very short. Remember, children learn by watching what adults do. Clean clothing should be worn after bathing. Dirty clothing contains wastes and microbes that contaminate clean skin and can be reabsorbed. Laundry should be dried in the sun to kill microbes. To avoid illness, every family needs a clean latrine. It can be just a hole that's covered, or it can be surrounded with a private wall, which is even better. And finally, there's the ventilated improved pit latrine, where there's a pipe going out of the top to take odors and also prevent flies from coming in. A tippy tap with water and soap or ash right near the toilet makes hand washing possible after elimination. Sanitary supplies and privacy are important for girls and women having their monthly cycles especially. More on that in other lessons. We also need to clean fruits and vegetables. The produce that grows near the ground can easily be contaminated with diseases, microbes, and worms, especially if the area has animals, if people use it for a toilet, or if human fertilizer is used, which we don't recommend. Produce should be rinsed in pure, safe water, and any dirt should be scrubbed off. To protect infants and children, thoroughly cook foods that might be contaminated. Microbes are killed by cooking for at least 1 minute of a rolling boil. Food should be stored covered to protect from flies. It's also important to know how to handle meats or fresh foods. The vast majority of all foodborne illness comes from animal products that are contaminated or not handled properly. To reduce food poisoning microbes, cut fresh fruits on a different surface than chicken or meat. Hands, knives, and the cutting surface should be washed after the meat has been prepared. Meat should be cooked thoroughly with no rare or raw spots. Of course, there's also a lot of information out there about meats that are contaminated even before they get to your home. For example, in the Ugandan news, there's an expose about the use of formalin, which is a liquid form of formaldehyde, being used to dip the meats in before they're shown for the public at the butcher's shop. Of course, those are toxins that are not going to wash off easily. Washing dishes is also very important. You should wash your dishes in hot soapy water and rinse well. Utensils, cups, or plates used by a sick person should be boiled for 1 minute in a rolling boil. Do not dry dishes with a cloth. Instead, place them upside down on a drying rack in the sun, away from animals and dust. Now I need to cough. Just kidding. Coughing, though, it spreads germs, and people with a cough should cover their mouths and wash their hands often. When I was growing up, we were taught to cough like this, but it's more important to cough inside the crook of the elbow, because then you don't use your hands to go ahead and spread that disease. The sick one should sleep away from the family, especially from children, if the cough is from tuberculosis. Children in the family should be vaccinated. There should be no spitting on the floor in the house. Spitting spreads diseases like tuberculosis. It's also very important to clean your house often. A clean home is a healthy home. Keep the floors well swept and washed with detergents or insecticides to prevent infestations. Fill in the holes and cracks where insects come in. Before going to bed, shake the mosquito netting to get rid of the dust, dirt, and spider webs. Use insecticide-impregnated mosquito nets to control mosquitoes and to repel and kill bed bugs and head lice. There are also certain plants that you can plant around the house, like lantana, that actually repel the mosquitoes as well. More about that in Farm Stew Pro. Trash and garbage around the house attracts rats and flies. Pick it up. Separate out the trash from the plant matter and take the trash away to a dumping site. Or you can dig a pit and bury it away from your living space. If there's no dumping site, you can also burn it. Put the plant food scraps in the compost pile. Continue adding food and plants in layers to create a rich compost for your garden. Again, more on that in farming. There are also external parasites. These are many different species of blood-sucking parasites. Fleas, lice, ticks, and mites live on humans, animals, and birds, in clothing and in the home. Bed bugs and head lice, they do not carry disease, but their bites cause severe itching. Head lice are spread by close contact or sharing of combs. Crab lice are spread by sexual contact. Other blood-sucking parasites carry and transmit serious diseases. Body lice carry typhus, which is highly contagious and often fatal. It can be treated with antibiotics. Mites carry scabies that live in the skin. Rodents carry fleas that carry the plague. It can be prevented now with a vaccine. Cat and dog fleas carry tapeworm. Ticks carry Lyme disease that cause severe arthritis, fever, and pain. These parasites tend to hide and breed in dark, dry places such as bedding, mattress, rugs, cracks in the walls, in the furniture, and the floors. For rodent flea control, eliminate rodents and dust insecticides into their burrows and runways. For pet fleas, use insecticides on clothing and pet fur. An infant's bedding should be boiled, but no insecticide should be used. God has provided our planet with water. Using it wisely helps us keep healthy. It's a gift from God, and He promises, "For I will pour out water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. I will pour out my Spirit on your offspring and my blessings on your descendants." Isaiah chapter 44, verse 3. Pray to Him and claim this promise. Ask Him for His blessings on your family.